It is now confirmed after several questions about Ja Morant's future and the uncertainty. It appears 12 is staying to his true roots, staying loyal, and staying with Memphis. At least that's what he says in his words. But in reality, what happened to get us there, and what does Ja Morant need to do exactly in order to stay relevant and actually maybe change up his game a little bit to stay with the city of Memphis, to stay with the Memphis organization? Because his three-point percentage is dipped way too far down into a really just awful, dangerous territory. He's going to have to change his ways at least. Also, you're not going to want to miss the middle of this video because of how dumb one organization really thinks the Grizzlies fan base really is. What's going on, everybody? Jerry Alatorre here for another episode of Grizzlies Digest. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Capping off what was a couple days ago at this point, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Grizzlies playing against the Orlando Magic, getting the victory in the second of the international games against Orlando. And Ja Morant was... Yeah, he looked good. He had a double-double. He looked very engaged, getting his teammates involved, scoring the basketball, actually shooting the basketball very well, even from deep. But it seems that things have kind of calmed down a little bit too with how Ja really feels. But some in the media still have some things to say. So this is NBA writer Jake Fisher on Ja Morant. He says he's going to have to keep playing. He was really holding out, from my understanding. He's kind of been nursing these injuries as long as he could to not play. The Grizzlies want to move him, and I don't think he wants to be there. I know he came out and said he's loyal, but every indication I've gotten is he wants to move on from this franchise just like they do. I think it's a similar thing to Giannis not wanting to come out publicly and say it. It's tricky right now to parse through what these guys say publicly and what they actually want to happen, but I've gotten every indication both Ja Morant and the Grizzlies would like to start over. Now that's from Jake Fisher, but Ja said in his own words that he doesn't want to be traded, and that's per Mark Stein. Usually he has a Substack that has a subscription that you have to pay for, but usually the meat and the potatoes usually are revealed on X. Anything else you'll have to pay for, but at least that's per Mark Stein. Ja Morant, the Grizzlies, he's advised the Grizzlies he would not like to be traded. And look, I think that when you boil it all down, when you talk about Tuomas Iisalo in his first year and having that public spat and Ja Morant getting suspended, you know, it's hard sometimes to try and be the adults in the room whenever things get a little heated. And that's completely understandable. We're all victims of that. But I think that the organization, they want to come to an understanding of, can this guy give us consistency? Can he play like 8 games in a row? Just give me 8. Just once. Give me 8 games in a row. And let's see how you perform and let's see what you can do. We know what you can do on the court. Can you stay on the court? Give us durability. And for Ja Morant, you know, he wants to compete. He wants to stay in Memphis. He's telling you right now, hey, I want to stay here. I'm loyal here. Like, look at the tattoo on my back, right? I mean, it says that for a reason. I want to be here. But I think it's also up, so to the organization, it's up to him it's up for Zach Kleiman, Rob Pera to make him happy. But for Ja Morant's standpoint, you got to change up your game a little bit, right? You got to shoot the ball better. Get your teammates involved. So that little sample of what we saw in that Orlando game on MLK Day, really good. Hey, really good start. Let's stay with that. We're not depending on you to get 40 points a night. We're not trying to pressure you on that. But can you maintain this durability consistently? That's what we want from you. Basically, Grizzlies organization, hey, let's be happy on this end. Ja Morant, let's be happy on this end. Let's make it a marriage. Like, I mean, you can ask anybody out and put a ring on him and get married to him, but at some point you got to have some formula consistently to make that work years beyond that. And that's, I think, what we're getting here. We're kind of getting a little breaking point in Ja Morant's 7th NBA season, and I think it's time to kind of finally break the ice and just really think about where it is the Memphis wants to go here. But at least we know, per Mark Stein, that Ja Morant wants to stay here. But before we get into any other news today, just want to give a shout out to Kalshi. This video is brought to you by Kalshi. You can download it right now with the link in the description below. Use that code DIGESTNBA, like we always talk about. Get $20 off when you trade in your first 100. It's the largest prediction market in the United States and on their platform. Trade yes or no on real-life events such as sports, elections, really everything imaginable. Kalshi live in all 50 U.S. states. All you sports fans just like me, you can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, player performances, all in a regulated market. You can cash out at any time. So for example, now the odds with Ja Morant, folks, this is on Kalshi right now, the odds really starting to grow. Keep your fingers crossed that he stays with Memphis. 75%. Miami's really dipped down to 14%. I'll have a little bit of a rant against Miami later on in this video, so you're not going to want to miss that. But Minnesota up there for some reason at 3%. But that's what it looks like right now on Kalshi. And also, don't forget AFC Championships, NFC Championships. The New England Patriots right now, the heavy favorite. If you want to trade on New England with Bo Nix out for the season when what was a sudden injury after the Buffalo Bills game in that instant classic divisional playoff game. You also have the Seattle Seahawks at home in the playoffs. Come on now. They're up right now with 59% odds, but the LA Rams, they have the potential MVP in Matthew Stafford, but 38 years old. Could this be it for him? He's really going to want to go for a second Super Bowl. So that's what's at stake right now on Kalshi. Again, much smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge. Close positions whenever you want. Download Kalshi with a link in the description below. Use that code right there, DIGESTNBA, to get $20 off when you trade in your first 100. Last but not least, thank you so much to the wonderful folks at Kalshi for sponsoring this video. So, just showed you the odds right there. Thanks to Kalshi once again. Ja Morant's next team. It's looking pretty apparent that he at least wants to be here. But there are some that really think that we're just going to dump him for nothing. I mean, we weren't just going to dump him for nothing. If we were going to trade him, we weren't not just going to dump him for nothing. Now, that might be other players. Again, I am surprised how apparently Trae Young and Luka Doncic both together were only worth 2 first-round picks, and Mikal Bridges and Desmond Bane were worth 10. Now, that's still shocking to me. But look at this. The Miami Heat would most likely only be willing to trade or offer Terry Rozier and a filler in a Ja Morant trade. Per AP Basketball. Does Miami take a step back at the deadline to get more assets for Giannis this summer? Or do they try and convert talent to get better now? The Ja Morant stuff has cooled a lot. But if that gets revisited, they will not include anything they need for a Giannis deal. They're going to try and basically get him for Rozier's expiring and filler. So yeah, we're going to get him for the guy that was literally arrested, the guy that hadn't been playing basketball, and then for another guy, Fontecchio. Now, it'd make up for it if you get Tyler Hero, but the odds of that happening are pretty slim. Very slim. But they really want us to get a guy like this. I mean, this is embarrassing, right? Look at all of these. Look at all the things he does. Look at that turnover. What kind of pass is that? That's the guy we're going to get? That's the guy y'all want us to get? I mean, look at that pass. Just terrible. And then you didn't hit the rim. Didn't hit the rim on the layup. Oh, look at this. Well short on that three-point attempt. Oh, a step back? Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, barely hitting the rim there. And then you got Rozier in the corner, front of the rim. Okay, I'll give him that. Drive inside, little floater to Kevin Love. I don't know, was that a pass to Kevin Love? I have no idea. That was just, I don't know what that was. Then that might have been his best shot there. And then that, I mean, what is he doing? Like, that's the guy y'all want us to get? Are you serious? Now, I like Miami. I really do. I like the team that they had around 5 to 6 years ago when Tyler Hero was a rookie. And they had Jimmy Butler, Adebayo, Duncan Robinson. They also had Nunn. They had Myers Leonard, Jay Crowder, Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Solomon Hill, of course Haslam, Goran Dragic. I mean, what a team that was. Like, I like that team. I like this organization right now. But they're always kind of like 7, 8, 9, 10 around the Eastern Conference. Very mediocre, but still kind of maintaining Heat culture. But that's the only guy and a filler that they're willing to offer for Ja Morant. Not even a first-round pick. I mean, that, again, I hate getting like that, but it's just like, how stupid are we? How stupid do you think we are? And that's not, there's no way that's happening. I mean, at that point, you keep Ja Morant. You don't go that low. You don't want to go that low. That's just not the way to do it. But you don't want to sell your soul out, basically. That's what I'm saying. But, again, Ja Morant's staying loyal. The tattoo on his back should tell you exactly where I want to be. If anybody here knows me, I'm a very loyal guy. And for Ja Morant, he very well is. And I know that there's going to have to be some soul searching between the organization and Ja themselves. But let's see if they can figure it out. I think they can. But who knows what's going to happen. Obviously, we showed you the odds on Kalshi can trade this weekend. We're obviously going to have a big snowstorm and ice storm if you're in the south or the southeast, extending all the way to the Atlantic coast. Big snowstorm involved, so perfect opportunity for you to get on Kalshi this weekend. Again, use this code right here, Digest NBA, get $20 off when you trade in your first 100. But that's going to do it for us today. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on Ja Morant, Terry Rozier, Mark Stein, any of the reports that we went over today. Keep engaging in that comment section down below. Let's try and get to 2,000 subscribers, folks, before this season ends. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.